Hello, hello. How's it going, you guys? Hope y'all are doing amazing. I'm Veronica. Welcome to Veronica's Journal. And on this channel, we talk about mental health, spirituality, and psychology. Together, we can evolve as a community that's unstoppable. Today, we are diving into something that goes far beyond emotions, the actual neuroscience behind narcissistic abuse. If you've ever wondered why you feel foggy, anxious, or even addicted to someone who's hurt you, this video will help you understand that it's not your fault. It's your brain's response to trauma. Take a deep breath, get comfortable, and let's explore what really happens inside your mind after narcissistic abuse and how you can begin to heal. Today's topic blends neuroscience, trauma psychology, and emotional insight. The effects of narcissistic abuse on the brain. Have you ever wondered what really happens inside your brain when you go through narcissistic abuse? I'm not just talking about emotional pain or confusion, the literal impact it has on your brain chemistry, your nervous system, and your ability to think, feel, and even trust your own mind again. Because narcissistic abuse isn't just psychological, it's neurological. It literally rewires you. Let's break this down and talk about what actually happens inside your brain when you're entangled with a narcissist. The first one is your brain is under siege. When you're in a relationship with a narcissist, whether it's romantic, family, or even in a workplace, or if your parents were narcissists, your brain enters a state of constant threat. At first, you don't notice it. There's charm, intensity, connection, and what feels like deep love. But soon, that same person begins to criticize, gaslight, and manipulate you in subtle ways. Each time they do, your amygdala, the part of your brain responsible for detecting danger, it lights up like a fire alarm. Your body releases cortisol and adrenaline, preparing you to fight, flee, or freeze. But when that cycle happens over and over with moments of love in between, your brain becomes trapped in what we call trauma bonding. You start associating love with fear, safety with chaos, affection with anxiety. It's not that you're weak or too emotional. It's that your brain is literally being conditioned through intermittent reinforcement. The next one is the hijacking of the reward system. The narcissist knows how to just give you enough dopamine to keep you hooked. That high you feel when they suddenly praise you or show affection, that's dopamine flooding your brain. The same neurochemical linked to addiction. Then, just as quickly, they withdraw it. They withhold affection, give you the silent treatment, or criticize you out of nowhere. And your brain, now craving that dopamine hit, goes into withdrawal. It starts scanning, obsessing, trying to figure out how to get back to the version of them that was kind, loving, or charming. This is how trauma bonds are formed. It's the same cycle seen in addiction, only this time the drug is a person. The narcissist becomes the supplier of both your pain and your relief. And your brain, desperate for stability, starts depending on them. The next one is gaslighting and cognitive dissonance. Now, here's where it gets darker. When you're gaslighted long enough, told that what you saw didn't happen, or you didn't hear what you heard, or that you're overreacting, your prefrontal cortex, the rational part of your brain, starts to shut down. You lose confidence in your perception of reality. Cognitive dissonance sets in. Cognitive dissonance is that uncomfortable state of holding two opposing truths at once. They love me, they're hurting me. Your brain can't reconcile the contradiction. So it loops endlessly trying to make sense of it. This looping creates mental fog, exhaustion, and even memory lapses. You may start to forget details, lose track of your time, or doubt your own emotions. All symptoms of a brain under psychological siege. And that's exactly what gaslighting does. It destabilizes your inner compass. It makes you rely on the narcissist for your sense of truth. They become the narrator of your reality. The next one is shrinking of yourself. Over time, your hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory and learning, begins to shrink under chronic stress. Studies on trauma show that prolonged exposure to psychological abuse can literally change the structure of your brain, the hippocampus and the amygdala. You may start to feel like you've lost yourself, your interests, your laughter, your creativity. You stop trusting your own intuition because it's being constantly invalidated. This isn't your imagination. It's your brain adapting to survive in an environment that constantly invalidates it. Your brain learns, if I stay small, quiet, agreeable, maybe I'll be safe. That's survival mode. It's not weakness. It's a biological defense mechanism. The next one is nervous system roller coaster. You start to live in fight or flight. Even when you're away from the narcissist, your nervous system stays stuck. It stays hypervigilant. A text notification can make your heart race. A raised voice can trigger panic. Your body doesn't yet realize it's safe. That's called complex trauma or CPTSD. And it leaves your body and brain locked in survival chemistry. Your vagus nerve, which regulates your emotional safety and calm, becomes dysregulated. You might experience anxiety, digestive issues, insomnia, or chronic fatigue. These aren't just emotional symptoms. They are the body's way of saying, I've been in danger way too long. The next one is disconnection from yourself. And another effect of narcissistic abuse is emotional numbing. When the pain becomes too much, your brain protects you by disconnecting from your emotions. You may feel detached, like you're watching your life from outside. And that's called dissociation. It's the brain's way of saying, you cannot handle this much pain at once. So I'll help you float away. But the side effect is that you lose connection with your intuition, joy, even your own body. That's why healing can feel so confusing, because part of you is still frozen in time, still waiting for safety that never came. How do you reclaim your brain? The good news is the brain can heal. Neuroplasticity means that your brain is always capable of rewiring itself. When you remove yourself from the narcissist's control and begin to create a safe environment, your nervous system slowly begins to regulate again. Your amygdala quiets down. The prefrontal cortex comes back online. The hippocampus starts to regrow new neural connections. You begin to think clearly again, remember things better, and trust your instincts. And slowly the fog lifts. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, boundaries, and deep self-compassion. But every time you say no to manipulation, every time you validate your own feelings, every time you choose peace over chaos, your brain rewires itself toward healing. Now, how do you build safety and trust? See, healing from narcissistic abuse isn't about revenge or proving a point. It's about learning to feel safe again inside your own body and mind. Safety comes from small, consistent actions. Resting when you're tired, listening to your gut, being around people who respect your no, practicing mindfulness and self-validation. Every act of self-care becomes a signal to your brain, I'm safe now. And your brain begins to believe it. Over time, the constant cortisol and adrenaline are replaced by serotonin and oxytocin, the hormones of connection and calm. Your body learns that love doesn't have to hurt. Your mind learns that peace isn't boring, it's freedom. The return of intuition and clarity is possible. One of the most beautiful things about healing from narcissistic abuse is the return of your intuition. That inner voice that once got drowned out by manipulation begins to speak again, softly at first and then louder. You start to notice red flags sooner. You recognize the energy of control even before the words are spoken. You begin to trust your perception of reality again. This is your prefrontal cortex coming back online. Your brain's executive function saying, I remember who I am. And that's one of the most powerful things you can experience after narcissistic abuse. Not just surviving, but reclaiming your own mind. Now, I'll give you my final thought. If you've been through narcissistic abuse, I want you to know this. There's nothing broken about you. Your reactions, the anxiety, the confusion, the overthinking, the rumination are not signs of weakness. They're signs of a brain that adapted to survive a war it didn't even choose. Your healing is not about becoming who you were before. It's about becoming who you were meant to be before the abuse tried to rewrite your wiring. You're not your trauma. You're the consciousness awakening from it. And your brain, it is magnificent, resilient, and wise. It knows exactly how to find its way back to peace. Take it slow. Breathe. Rest. You're not crazy. You're healing. Your brain is learning safety again. And with time, your clarity, your joy, and your power will return stronger than ever. If this video helped you understand yourself a little better, please give it a like and share it with someone who might need to hear it. Healing from narcissistic abuse takes time, but your brain can rewire. And every moment of awareness brings you closer to peace. If you'd like to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. And remember, you're not broken, you're healing, one step at a time. Love you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good day and take care.